What is happening, my little peppers? It is the night before the Yorkshire Three Peaks Ultra, and in a bit of a first for the channel, I thought I would do a bit of a gear rundown about what I plan to use. Now, I'm no expert in this field, and I wouldn't really advise others on what would or would not work for them. However, in a bit of a twist, I thought what we could do is I'll run down what I'm going to use, and then afterwards we can look back and see what worked, what didn't work, what could have worked better. So, without further ado, let's start with nutrition. Now, my stomach, like that of our much loved and much missed Bloodhound Higgins, is a little bit delicate. I'm surprisingly good with spice. After all, which bloke can't eat a vindaloo? However, bread and Haribos are my kryptonite. They puff me up bigger than a puffer fish in a puffer jacket with a pocket full of sugar puffs. And as such, eating during runs can be quite difficult.
I'm eating a bar, by the way, if anyone wonders why I sound like this. I'm trying to eat stuff.
From a technical perspective, I use Active Roots products. I've mentioned them before on the channel, and what I find is that they're tasty, they're simple enough to use, and they don't upset my stomach. Again, I've not tried everything and I'm no expert, but it's a simple case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Other than that, I'll have a bag full of Snickers, or marathons, should your age in wine terms be defined as vintage. I get some bananas, and I will eat a few thins, which I appreciate are bread and contradict what I've just said. However, they're not bread in the traditional sense. Fillings wise, we have kept it classy. We've got corned beef and onion, or ham and peas pudding. Or alternatively, you could do anything with crisps in it, because after all, crisps make everything better. Papa Pepper may not be a qualified sports nutritionalist, however he can rustle up a tasty thin.
What have you made us?
Ham and peas pudding, corn dog and onion.
Now, moving on to gear, I am still using my Salomon Skin Pro 10 litre Ultra Pack that is perhaps 7 or 8 years old now. I've tried packs and waist belts of different shapes and sizes. However, what I find is that a lot of the tighter ones, particularly when you get wet, can rub your neck. And instead, the Salomon, with its wider kind of shoulder placement, doesn't rub at all, which means that after all that time, and despite the fact that it's looking a bit worse for wear and not all the zips work, it's still my #1 choice. Clothing wise, I'll be wearing a Tracksmith base layer tee and shorts because I like the brand, and an Innovate waterproof jacket. I appreciate they're both pricey pieces of gear, however I feel that I get the value out of them. Now conversely, my waterproof trousers, which are a mandatory piece of kit, are more cheap and cheerful. They're just an easy number from Decathlon, and if I'm being honest, personally I don't tend to wear them if I can help it. Moving further south, I'm usually a kind of, oh, that's nice. 6 PM, guys, sun's setting. Now, moving further south to socks and shoes, I'm usually an ankle sock kind of guy. However, I have found in ultras, particularly where your feet may get wet, that if you are wearing the low socks, they can fall down and rub, giving you blisters over time. As such, when I am running ultras, I tend to wear a higher quarter pair of sock that can prevent that happening. Footwear wise, I'm wearing the Brooks Caldera 6s. In the past, I've worn Cascadias by Brooks. However, these are max cushioned, which I hope on the potentially not too technical terrain tomorrow will reap rewards with that max cushioning and keep my feet nice and snug for the full 70k. Other than that, and rounding out my kit, I've got my OS map, I've got my head torch with spare batteries, my whistle, my emergency bag, and everything else on that mandatory kit list. Now, all that's left to do is get a good night's sleep, run that race, and afterwards, by the power of editing, we can see what worked and what didn't. Okay, let's get straight to it. First of all, what worked? I was really happy with my clothing from start to finish. I had everything on for the full 70k due to how cold it was out there, and I was pretty comfy throughout.
I was sweating like a bulldog in a warm situation.
My shoes were fine, I guess. As with a lot of things in ultra runs, it's actually hard to tell what was brilliant, what worked okay, or what maybe didn't work as well as you could by the very fact that I got round. In this case, my shoes weren't revolutionary. However, my feet were in good condition when I finished the race, no blisters, limited aches and pains, and as such, I guess they worked really well. Although I do think that Cascadias might still be Brooks' #1 all-round trail shoe. Okay, on to things that could have worked better. My bag functioned fine and it didn't chafe. However, it did make me realise that, as with most things in life, bigger is often better. Dogs, portion sizes, hotel rooms, glasses of beer, the list goes on. The racehorses up front might favour something minimalist and streamlined. However, I am more of a pit pony. Stout, dependable and easier to keep in your garden. Hello little one, how you doing? And with that in mind, I think I'd benefit from the increased size of a 15 or even 20 litre pack. And if I'm being honest, I have no idea how those front runners fit the mandatory kit in those tiny little bags. Something seems a bit off to me. My Innovate jacket was great and kept me dry all day, but gosh darn did I wish it had hand warming pockets. Again, mine is very minimalist and streamlined. However, next time around, as with my pack, I'm going to prioritise comfort over weight. Now, on to what didn't work. I was absolutely freezing throughout, and whilst this is not a criticism of the clothes I had on, it's a cautionary tale that I should have wore more. And I'm going to invest in a nicer pair of gloves. I had a pair on,
My hands, even with gloves on, are dropping off.
but next time I'm going to get a nice merino number and then put a synthetic layer over the top to keep me warm when the mercury drops below 0. I did not use my map or compass once, and in fact I have absolutely no idea how people unfold and then refold those things. Unfolded, mine is roughly the size of the Principality of Monaco, and when your hands are the size of pepperonis due to the cold, you're just not going to use it. I got stuck or lost a couple of times and would have definitely gone the wrong way if it wasn't for another runner being there with the GPX watch.
Didn't see a checkpoint, which has got me worried. Where is it? The old school. Where's that then?
So, bottom line, I would suggest that the GPX watch is an absolute must for any ultra event, and particularly those that require any sort of wayfinding or orienteering. So, that's that. Another ultra complete and another story to dine out on for at least the next several years. Did I tell you I just run an ultra? This is a new video format for me, so I sincerely hope that you guys have enjoyed it and even gained a chicken nugget or two of wisdom out of it. If you have, or if you have any do's or don'ts for ultra running, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, see you next time.